Hello everybody, well here we are online, so we're going to try and keep as much as normal as possible, but thank you so much for joining me and supporting me here. So any questions or any feedback will be greatly received. So as usual, let's start off with our spiky ball. So we'll do around about a minute on each foot. So cover the whole of the foot. So if you focus on the sections of the foot. So we start off with the heel. So get onto the outer edges, the back edges, the inner edges, and then sort of fill in the gap in the middle. And then you can go into the midfoot. So you've got the outer edges all into the midfoot. And then into that inner edge there. And then just working up a little bit higher, just under the balls of the feet, which is just where your diaphragm lays in reflexology. So we want to awaken all that up. Then a little bit higher, so into the balls of our feet. So really try and get into the big toe, the outer edge of the big toe, all the way through, outer edge of the little toe, and then into the neck of the toes as much as you can. Try and get into all the little nooks and crannies, and into the pads of the toes. So get the pad of the big toe, and then try and follow through as much as you can. And then let's do exactly the same on the other side. So first of all, we want the heel. So we can focus on the outer edge of the heel. We can focus on the back edge of the heel. And then on the inner edge of the heel. If you've got anywhere that needs a bit more work, obviously just work on those areas. And then we're going to fill it in. So we're going to fill all that in into the whole middle part of the heel. Again, just really focus on any areas. Then we're going to work up to more the midfoot. Let's start off with the outer edge. Then to the inner edge. You might feel a few differences from side to side. And then into that midfoot. Working there nice and, well, I was going to say deeply, but however your foot is. Sometimes our feet are quite sensitive. If you can go a little bit deeper, you can. And it also depends on the ball. I know some balls are really quite hard. And then let's work up to just under the balls of your feet. So get all that nice cross section there from one end to the other. Into the balls of the feet. So in reflexology, this is your lungs, more the actual balls of your feet. And again, you can go to the outer edge, your little toe, work all the way through to the outer or the inner edge or outer edge of your big toe, whichever way you're looking at it there. Then get the neck of the toes. So this is around about your neck area in reflexology, as we know. Then to the pads of the toes. So here we're sort of starting to go onto the sinuses, ears, nose and throat. Again, all in the big toe and all the way through to the little toe. Right, pop that aside just for a moment. Then you can get your little ball. So do around about a minute or so on each foot again. But if you find any areas that you need to work on, and boy, you'll know if you do, just sort of pause on any areas that are slightly uncomfortable without putting too much weight down into the ball. Just allow the weight of the foot just to sink down. And it's up to you how much pressure you give. You don't want to be in discomfort. It's almost like a nice pain. And just sort of find we've all got somewhere on our foot. Generally it can be a little bit uncomfortable. Don't be too concerned. But just you're here to work it, acknowledge it, and just sort of work it through. So you can follow the same system as what we did with a spiky ball. Or you may be able to go straight to an area you know is a little bit uncomfortable. But it's good just to have a good look around. You might find some areas a little bit grainy, so it's always quite good to work on those grainy areas. In reflexology, round about the outside of the little toe can relate to shoulders, so that's a very common area. So work on them. You might feel you want a bit of brain exercise, so work on the ball of the big toe. And let's do the other side. And this is something you can always go back to in your own time, because we're not doing long. This is just giving you a few ideas in your toolbox. If you know you need to give your feet a massage, or if you don't lose the ball, because I've got the golf ball, not my normal one. It rolls off a bit. So again, following the same system, you've got your heel, work all the way through. You've got your midfoot. Find those areas, hold your foot over the ball, allow the weight of the foot to drop over the ball in those ouchy areas. But you don't want to hurt it. You don't want to be too brutal. And then just under the balls of your feet. So just under the balls is your diaphragm. Might be a good one to work. The actual balls of your feet will be your lungs. So we want to get in there, but any areas, it's just a bit of exploration. Neck and toes, might want to go to the outer edges of your little toe, knowing that can relate to shoulders in reflexology. Big toe, always like to do that bit of brain training. I think it's the only one I get there from the brain. Right, pop the little ball aside. We're going to grab the spiky ball now. So you're going to have your heel into the ground. So it's sort of like the outer 2/3 of your heel grounded and anchored down. Spread and splay your toes over the ball. So your big toe and little toe are either side of the ball. Up nice and tall. Now your heel stays in the ground. It doesn't lift, so there's no daylight underneath your heel at all at any time. And then you're just going to drag your heel in towards the ball. The ball stays relatively still, so you're not swaying like so. You're sliding it in. So we just want to do round and about 5 on each side. You can always do more in your own time. Then we swap over. If you find that the big toe and the little toe don't comfortably drape over the ball, you can always just put them there. It doesn't matter, because you will start to gain some stretch there. Even if they don't stay, it just starts to train them. And then again, sliding the heel in towards the stillness of that ball. And again, you just got that, you're developing that nice arch as you do this. And you're getting some length in the top of the feet, especially where the toe joints are. So when you've done round about 5 here, back to the first foot. And this is our little toe walk. So this time the heel stays grounded completely. The ball moves as you toe walk the ball in towards you as much as you can. Take it back and then begin again. Keeping the outer 2/3 of your heel bone into the floor. And again, recognise it makes the same shape as what we did on the last exercise, but we're coming from it from a different angle. This should hopefully give us more spring in our step. And then the other side. And when you think you can't get any more, just try it a little bit more, because there might be a little bit left. I've got about 3 more to go. So we do need to keep our feet strong, keep them moving, working, mobile, and also pain-free. I think that's around about 5. If you want to do more, that's fine. Right, we can pop that aside now. Right, grab hold of your bands. You have a choice. If you've got a stretchy band, you can use that, which will give you more freedom of movement and less intense stretch. If you're a little bit in between, you can always double up your band, which will make it more challenging. Otherwise, you can use something like a yoga belt. I've got an old martial art belt from when my children did judo. I'm going to use this. So first of all, spread out and splay your toes. Really splay them out. Reach up for the crown of the head. Make sure the feet are strong. We just recognise how we work the arches, so keep the arches lifted. And then rock between the two positions of your pelvis, forward and backwards. Just allow your tailbone to swing behind you and then in front, just like a pendulum. And now gradually make this movement smaller and smaller, so your tailbone just hangs at the back of your two heel bones. Then we're going to take it side to side, but just check your feet are stationary. Your feet aren't wobbling around. So this movement primarily comes from the hips. And then hula hula. Circling through. Then the other direction. Again, check your feet and make sure they're nice and strong into the floor. Come back to center. Rib shift. So pelvis stays still, head stays relatively still. And then find your center point. Keep the connection ribs to hips. And we have the band in our hands. Going to reach it back, stretch back. Bring the band down as you breathe in. Push the arms back. And then rise up onto the toes. Press the balls of the big toes down. Take it down. You can breathe in, add in a squat this time. Make sure the feet are strong, you're in line. Press down through the feet, elevate back up and press the arms behind you. Breathe in, take the arms down, feel the work in the back of the arms. Exhale, rise up, feel the arch in your foot as you rise up. Roll down. Breathe in, squat down, reach through the arms. Press down through the feet to rise up. This time come up onto your toes. Keep lifted on your toes as you bring the band down. Push back and then lower down. Squat. Send the sitting bones away. Push up. Rise up on the toes, and maybe you can lift your chest if you have that balance. Come back down and then press here. Squat down, reach, sink down, pushing up, rise up onto the toes, lifting the chest, arms back. Now this time keep the arms extended, bring the ribs back in towards you fully, rise down, drop down onto your heels, into a side bend. So if you side bend to your left, breathe into your right side ribs, pull down on the band, press firmly down through the feet to elevate back up. Breathe in, side bend to your right, you'll breathe into your left side body. Exhale back up, keep the arms extended, go back down into your squat. Now this time, lift the heels up here, press them down, press the heels into the floor firmly as you come up, lift back up onto the toes, chest lifted if you're okay, bring the ribs back to center, roll down through to the heels, back into a side bend to your left, take the gaze down, and then just press your hips towards your right. Exhale, power from the feet to get that elevation back up. Breathe in. And breathe out. Keep the arms lifted, squat back down. Lift those heels. Press them back down. Rise up, chest up. Lift up onto the toes. Come back down, bring the ribs in. Side bending to your left. Take the gaze up. You can look forward or down if that's uncomfortable. Press down through the feet. Breathe in, gaze up. Breathe out. Squat down. Lift your heels. Press back down. rise up, ribs in, rise up onto your toes here. Keep the heels lifted, come down without rolling your bottom back too much. Press your heel bones down into the ground. Rise back up, reach and stretch, bring the ribs in. Now keep your right arm extended and just take your left arm smoothly back behind you. Keep your chest facing forward. Breathe in. Breathe out, feel the nice natural roll in the shoulder. Then the other side. So we want that as fluid as possible when we just rolling the arm bone through the shoulder joint. Keep nice and lengthened through. Roll for that nice fluid rolling action. And then up. And then take it all the way back down. Pop that down for a moment. We're going to go into the cat-cow. So hands on the thighs, send your sitting, I'll come a bit closer here, send your sitting bones away and then round the back and look towards your belly button. Arch, send your sitting bones away, lift up through the chest. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. So use all of your exhalation as you round, drawing the belly out. Also draw the breath out of your belly. Inhale, breathe into the front belly as you get that extension. One more of each. And then when you're ready, reach the arms forward and push up and release. If you can cross your left leg over your right, reaching both arms up. If you want to interlace your fingers, turn your palms upwards, you can. Otherwise, you can just stick with single arms. That's up to you. Press both feet down. Breathe in, side bend towards your right. Push the hips out as far as you can and press from the feet to come back up. Breathe in. Stretch, press those hips all the way out. Exhale. One more on each side, so breathing in, get that fullness down that side body. Exhale, back up. Breathe in. Breathe out. Swap over legs. Grounding down through the feet. Breathe in, pressing your right hips all the way out to your right. Press your feet down. Breathe in, left hips all the way out to your left. Press firmly down through. One more on each side. Well done. And breathe in. And release. So we're really opening up our hips today for mobilisation, for stretching. So what we're going to be doing here, I'm just reading my notes of what I've got. We're going to be doing some staggered squats, which is a bit of a double whammy. So into a squat position, take your right foot forward and lift your heel. Have your arms forward. So all weight should be on this left leg. You're going to sit down, reach forward, and you may feel a stretch in the back of the right leg. That's fine. And then when you're ready, push all the weight through that left heel to come back up. Make sure it's in that left heel. Squeeze that left bum and then release. Breathe in. And you can send your right sitting bone away to get a deeper stretch in your hamstrings here. And then come back up. Breathe in. Push down through that left. Keep stretching through the right. Two more. Sitting right down into it, sending your right sitting bones away. And push up. And then one more. Breathe in. And breathe out. Let's swap over. Left foot forward. All your weight on your right leg. Sit right down into your right leg. Send your left sitting bones away from you. Feel a stretch. Make sure the weight's all in that right heel as you come back up, and then release. Breathe in, sit right down into that right. Send the left sitting bone away. Really firmly press through that right heel. Breathe in, squat down. Exhale, push. Back up, 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. And your last one. And then release it there. Just a nice little double whammy. Find something to hold on to if you need to. Heel to bottom. So we're going to stretch through the quads. Take the knees slightly behind you. Pubic bone forward. And lift the lower belly and bring those lower ribs in. And we are looking for a stretch in the front of your thigh. Let's do the other side. So again, knees slightly behind you, press the pubic bone forward. Make sure you've got that stretch in that front thigh. Okay, carefully release out. We're going to do the standing single leg kicks. You can hold on if you need to, or hands on your hips. Point, flex, point and down. Point, flex, point and down. So make sure the standing leg is really strong and powerful from the foot all the way up to the hip. Point, flex, point and down. So you can carry on here. Otherwise, you can go back into the stretch position with the intention of keeping your heel towards your bottom as much as it is, knowing it won't, but your intention is there, and then just see if you can just let go and keep it there to create a little bit more strength in those hamstrings. Exactly the same on the other side if you're doing this one. Otherwise, carry on with a point, flex, point. So again, you know what your intention is. Hold on if you want to. And then when you're ready, let go. See how long you can hold it there. And release. If you get cramp, obviously, just stretch that out. We're going to go into roll downs. We're going to do our press ups. We're going to do our knee hover. And we're going to do some step throughs. Just reading my notes there. So, up nice and tall. I'm just going to move my mat a little bit. I might have to move it a few times. So, chin towards your chest. Slowly roll down. Pull the belly in towards you. Some of you are just kneeling down. That's fine. You can. Keep the heels down into the floor for as long as you can. Or just take your knees down as soon as you need to. So you walk your hands forward. So with the first one, let's try taking our knees behind us. Shoulders are on top of hands. Get the length through the spine and then breathe in. Snug the elbows in. The bridge of your nose is a hand's distance in front of your real hands and press to extend. 2 more here. You may not be able to go quite so far with your knees behind you, so just bring them in a little bit. It's okay. Exhale to push. Then make sure the knees are back under the hips. Tuck the toes under in preparation. Again, this is about what I can't see, so traction the heels of the hands, lengthen through the spine, pull the lower ribs in. Take that full breath in. Start the exhalation. When you feel your core, which will be quicker with the traction, hover your knees so you've got no exhalation left. Then smoothly take them down. Cool, that was hard. Now, from here, you can keep your hands on the floor and just see if you can step your right foot through. If it doesn't, just pick it up and put it there. Just stay here with a nice long spine. For those who want a little bit more, tuck your back toes under and just lift that back leg and just stretch that heel away as you pull the chest forward. Take the back knee down and then take that right knee back. Step the left foot back. If you need to, pick it up, that's fine. Hold it here, but if you want to, lift that back heel edge that back heel forward as you pull your chest bone forward, so you've got that nice stretch all the way through. Drop that back knee, both knees down. You can walk your hands towards your knees here to come back up, or tuck under and hook up. Then walking the hands back towards the feet. Press the feet firmly into the ground as you re-articulate one vertebrae at a time and reach. Breathe in, chin to chest. Slowly roll down. Walking forward. Knees down. So you can keep the knees away from you to make it a little bit harder like you did on your first set, or have them under your hips if that was better for you. This time as we go down for a count of 1 and then lift for a count of 3. So breathe in, down for 1, push up for 3, 2, 1, down for 1, push up for 3, 2, 1, down for 1, push up for 3, 2, 1. Knees back under hips. If you move them back, tuck the toes under, traction, lengthen. Full breath in. As you exhale, feel the core and then hover. Inhale, pop the knees down. And then when you're ready, step the right foot forward. Hold it here. Remember, you can take the foot if you need to. Get that length through the spine. Really press that heel backwards. Pull the chest forward. Take the knee down. Swap over. Left foot through. Stay here. Might be enough for you. Tuck under. And then stretch heel and chest away from each other. And then take that down. Step that back. Walk your hands towards your knees. Hook up. And then rolling back up. One vertebrae at a time. Feet nice and strong and lift up. Breathe in, chin to chest, slowly roll down. Walking forward or taking the knees down straight away. And then when you're ready, they're going to go down for a count of 3, up for a count of 1. Knees behind you only if that's okay for you. So when you're ready, go down for 3, 2, 1 and push up. Keep the elbows snug. Push up for 1. Down for 3, 2 and 1 and push up. Knees back under hips, tuck the toes under, nice strong core. Take a full breath in, get the traction. As you exhale, feel the core and then lift and hover. Inhale, smoothly take the knees back down. Release the toes and then just sit back into your heels. Walk the hands forward into the child's pose. Come back onto all fours. You can repeat the step through that we've done already. Otherwise, slide one foot away from you up to a high plank, so strong core, and then lift the other. You've got the choice of knee pedals, or you can step through from here and step back. So you've got lots of choice here, whatever you wish to do. And then step back. Again, drop the knees down. Back into your child's pose stretch. Have that nice rhythmical sway from side to side. Right, you're going to lay on your back and we're going to go into hip circles first. So I'm just going to bring my mat a little bit closer. So when you're ready, rock through the pelvis. So we want to find our neutral position. So start making this pelvic tilt smaller and smaller. So the hip bones, the pubic bones are in line. And you can just feel the bony bit on the back of the pelvis. It's almost like a hull of a ship. Get it right in the centre. Soften the ribs, the back of the chest wall and the shoulders. Now from here, one hand on the belly, one hand on the lower ribs. Take a full breath in, feel the whole body swell. As you exhale, the belly sinks and then float one knee to tabletop. We're going to keep it in this position, 3 to 4 hip circles in each direction. And keeping the pelvis nice and still so the hull of the ship is sitting on that nice, smooth, undisturbed bit of water. And then the other direction. So just feel the fluidity in the joint there. And then take that down. Make sure you're still neutral. Exhale, lift the other leg up. Feel the sink. 3 to 4 circles. Feeling the hull of the ship, which is the back of your pelvic bone, in the floor. No swaying around, or as little as possible. Then the other direction. And then carefully take that down. If you drape your right leg over your left, arms out to the sides. Breathe in, drop both knees to your left, turn your head to your right. And then pull that right elbow away from you so you can stretch through the chest. As you exhale, push the back of the left hip through the floor. Use your abdominals to come back to center. Drop both knees to the right, look to the left. Exhale, come back to center. Breathe in, drop. Use all of that exhalation back to center. Breathe in. Exhale back to center. This time, slide your heel or your ankle towards the top of the left knee. So it's your ankle on top of the knee. Breathe in, drop both knees to your left, turn your head to the right. Get that nice scoop of the arm. Press the back of your left hip through the floor. Breathe in. And exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Now come back to center. You can stay here if you feel like you're getting enough stretch on that right hip. Otherwise, with both hands, pick up your left thigh through the gap. So this is your figure 4 stretch. You want to kind of press that right knee away from you, otherwise it'll end up under your chin if you're not careful. So push it away, but hug in that left knee at the same time. If you need to make it, would like to make it a little bit stronger, you can hold just under the knee, just on the shin. So make sure it is just under the knee, because if you go down here, it actually makes it easier. So you need to get that right position. And if you need to make it even more challenging, try and press your tailbone back down into the ground as you're holding this stretch in. Now if you change your grip, take your grip to under the knee again. Circle through your right ankle. And then with that right leg, take it down to the ground. Stretch that left leg up towards the ceiling. If you want to hold your leg, fine, but otherwise see if you can use the strength of your muscles to hold it up. Point, flex, point, flex. Think about your neutral positions. You want your natural lumbar spine. And then from here, we've done some hip circles, but just see if you can do a couple of hip circles with a straight leg. But you know you can bend that knee like we did earlier if that's not suitable for you. Well done. And then from here, hug that knee in, hold it on top of the shin this time, and press that right leg into the ground. So we've got a nice hip flexor stretch there. Okay. And now slide in your right foot, make sure the foot's on the floor. Take that left ankle on top, or actually drape the foot. Drop both knees to your right, look to your left, and then really stretch through the elbows. Press the back of your right hip through the floor to come back to center. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Ankle on top of knee. Breathe in. Drop the knees to the left. Look to the right. press the back of the hip through the floor so you get some abdominal work. Breathe in. Exhale. Come back up. Use your abdominals. One more each side. Drop the knees to the left. Look to the right. Exhale. Breathe in. And then exhale. Come back to centre. Again with both hands, if it's okay for you, pick up your right thigh through the gap. Press that left knee away. You can take the hands on top of the shin, just under the knee. So again, if you're here, that will make it easier. So you will need it here because it is a progression. Hug it in. Try and keep that knee that you're holding in line. And then for an extra challenge, press that tailbone back down towards the ground. And you should feel a stretch in that left back of hip somewhere. And then make sure you're holding behind that right knee. Circle through that left ankle. Then take that left ankle, leg towards the floor. Straighten your right leg. So again, you can keep hold or you can let go. Point, flex, flex. So we're looking for length all through the back of the legs. And then if you're happy to, hip circles. Just a few circles in each direction, keeping the length of the leg nice and strong through the whole thigh. Well done. Then you can bend that in towards you, into your hip flexor stretch. Press that left thigh firmly into the ground now. And then bring both knees in. And then roll over onto your side and sit yourself up. Right, so holding on to your feet. If you need to sit on something to bring you up a little bit higher, then do, that's fine. And then just allow your knees just to hang out, nice and open through the chest. Feel the crown of the head just reach up, pulling the belly up in towards you. If you feel like you want something a little bit more, by keeping your back straight, hinge forward. Make sure you're not rolling or rounding, hinge forward, maintaining that length of the spine. If the length of your arms will allow it, you can press down on the thighs just to give yourself a little bit more stretch. And just hold it here. And breathe and relax. But no making a cup of tea. We're not going to be here for this long. And then come back up nice and tall. Both legs in front of you. Now take your right foot, take it over and across to the outside of your left. Take your left crease of arm, hug it around, really bring it in towards you. For a deeper stretch, you can take your right arm behind and also to add in a rotation. Some people also like to take the foot towards their bottom, but not underneath it. And just allow that right sitting bone to sink down. And then back to centre. Guess what? Other side. So your left foot over, right crease of arm, hug it in. Position 1, stay here, that's great. Otherwise, take the other hand behind, rotate. And for those who want to, you can just bring that other foot in. Allow that left bottom to sink down. And then release, come back to centre. So now we're going to be doing some side lying hip work. So if you need anything under your hip, like a little cushion, because I know some of you do, then just go and get something and pop it underneath. You can always press pause. Otherwise, have your head rested. Take your top leg and pop it in front of you, just so it's out the way. You want the hips to be level here. Flex the underneath foot, so you're pushing the heel away, and make sure the whole thigh is nice and firm. Exhale, lift. Inhale, as you press down, press the outer edge of your foot and heel down. Exhale, lift. Have you still got your natural waist mouse hole underneath here? Exhale, lift. Inhale, press down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, press down. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Make sure the leg is straight as you do this. Reaching this top sitting bone away, so you're not collapsing in this top waist, or as little as possible anyway. Right, I think we've got 3 more. So for 3, 2, do rest if you need to. If you're happy to hold this up, you can point your foot now and just see if you can do some hip circles here. And then in the other direction, so I've only done about 3 circles, that's all. And then lower back down. Stretch that top leg out. Really flex the foot. Keep that connection ribs to hips, your little mouse hole. Breathe in, lengthen and lift that top leg. Exhale, press it down to meet the bottom foot. Breathe in. I'm really pulling and stretching that leg away. Exhale as you come down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And we're looking for work in the glutes here. The last one was the inner thigh. Good. Make sure the joint is nice and smooth. The movement is nice and smooth. And 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out, keeping that nice stability. And now come to about hip height. Rest if you need to, but if not, otherwise point the foot. And you're just going to do 3 circles in each direction, nice and smooth. Lovely. Bend the knees in. Push yourself up. Side 1 done. Side 2. We know what we're doing now. Or we pretend we do. So, resting down. Make sure you're comfy on your support if you have one. You've got your little mouse hole, so you're going to take this top leg out the way. Make sure that underneath leg is firm. Foot is flexed. Breathe in. Breathe out. Press the outer edge of your foot down. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Exhale. Press down. Breathe in. Lift. Exhale. Get that good press down. And then after the next one here, you're going to hold it up, point, and then hip circles. So just about 3 circles in each direction. And then take that down. Straighten out the top leg. Make sure the thigh is firm. You've got the connection ribs to hips and your little mouse hole. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. I want you to really stretch that leg away. So we've got 5 more. So breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then if you're happy to hold it here, you can point 3 to 4 circles in each direction. And take that down. Bring the knees in towards you and then push yourself back up. And we're going to go on to all fours. We're going to go into the swimming exercise now. So again, it's about what I can't see with you, tractioning and lengthening, where you're going to get the results of working through the core and the elongation through the spine. So keep that length through as much as you can, the lower ribs in and a slight lift of the lower belly. You're going to exhale, slide one foot away from you as if you're drawing a line in the sand. Lift the opposite arm, have your palm to face inwards, and then lift that leg, but stretch the pinky finger to the big toe away. The hand that's on the floor, you push it down a little bit more, and then inhale, come back in. Slide away first, the leg is straight, float the arm, and then get that stretch. Pinky toe, or pinky finger to the big toe, push the supporting side arm down, feel that work, and then come back. Exhale, get that traction with the supporting side hand, and then inhale. Exhale. And if you want a bit of a challenge, lift your feet away from the floor, get as much traction as you can, pull the ribs in, and then opposite arm, opposite leg, putting all those techniques, all those little tips in place. Stretch and come back in. One more on each side. Breathing in. And breathe out. Good. Carefully relax into your child's pose stretch. And again, that nice rhythmical sway from side to side. Allow your sitting bones to drop down into your heels as much as you can. Okay, so on your side again. You can prop yourself up onto your elbow and forearm like we have here, or you can rest your head down on an outstretched arm. Heels are in line with your sitting bones. Let's have that nice strong triangular position from your elbow, top of the arm down to your hip. Ribs are nicely soft in towards you. Now if you push your top heel down upon your bottom heel, you just naturally start to get that little lift. So push the heels down. If you have your fingers on the top of the hip, edge the front of the hip forward, take the knee behind you. This is on an inhalation. And then exhale, slowly lower it down, get that nice core contraction here. Breathe in. And then exhale. Breathing in. Keep that nice position here. Breathe in. You almost hold it for that split second so you get that opposition. Two more. And exhale. Okay, push yourself up. And top to toe. So, heels in line with sitting bones. Nice strong triangular shape, keep nice and lifted, hips stacked. You can put your fingers on front here. Push the heel down. Feel that lift up through. And then exhale. Breathe in. Breathe in. Exhale. Come on and get that little hold. I know you're cheating there, dropping it straight down. So remember, these are big, strong muscles. They can take it. There's always an excuse. What was my quote the other day? You've got to be stronger than your strongest excuse. So it's not cup of tea time yet. Which now I've got no idea how many reps we've done. So we're going to do 2 more because, like I say, they're big muscles. They can take it. Last one. Lovely jubbly. So now we're going to go on to our fronts. We're going to do hip extensions. So if you want to watch me first, and then I'll talk you through. So we need the pubic bone grounded. Lift up the lower belly and the tailbone heads towards your heels out. You can rest your head down. You'll squeeze one bum, lengthen and lift that leg away from the floor and back down. Squeeze the other bum, stretch and lengthen. So let's all do this together. Legs together. Squeeze your right bum, lengthen and lift from the hip and then back down. Squeeze, lengthen and lift. Squeeze, lengthen and lift. So what I'd like you to do is, once the leg's gone back down, relax your bottom cheek. So you can relax your bum, so you don't have to have a tight bum all the time. It's got to relax as well. So just make sure you're not having to use your shoulders, your neck, your head, your upper back to lift the weight of the leg away from the floor. If you're struggling a little bit, please stay there. Otherwise, bring both legs together. Make sure you've got a strong core. Squeeze both bottom cheeks and then lift both legs together. Exhale down. So you need a strong pull of the lower belly upwards as you stretch your big toes away. Let's do 3 more, but do rest if you need to, or drop back down and level. 2 more. And last one. Oh, well done. Have your feet round about hip distance. I don't know if you can see much on the camera, but allow your heels to flop out to the sides. And then when you're ready, you're going to exhale. Keep the big toes into the ground where they are. Rotate. So now your heels are squeezing together. Really squeeze your heels. Get that squeeze all the way up the back of the leg towards your bottom. And then allow your heel bones to roll back out. Maybe if I come up a bit higher, you may see. So start off with the heels dropped and then squeeze them together. Breathe in, drop out to the sides. Exhale, squeeze and keep going. So you can stay here with this one. If you want something a little bit more challenging, take your knees wide. So your knees are more or less mat width. You'll feel like they're too wide. Bend your knees and have the soles of your feet towards the ceiling, and your heel bones are touching and squeezing. Make sure you're strong with the pubic bone in the floor. Lift the lower belly and just squeeze the heels as much as you can, and then release the intensity of that squeeze. Squeeze as much as you can. Release the intensity. So you might be finding you've got enough here, because we want to keep these shins vertical, because what they can do is start to drop out, but we want to keep the heels on top of the knees. If you want more challenge, you might find you want a little bit of a cushion under your pubic bones. It can be quite strong, but otherwise, if you want something a little bit stronger, squeeze your heels together and then lift your thighs away from the floor and then back down. Squeeze, lift and back down. Squeeze, lift, back down. So again, you don't have to do the lift. If you want to, we got up to 3 more, so do rest if you need to. So for 3, 2, and 1. You can rest that down, bring your legs a little bit closer together and just rock through the pelvis. And I'm just going to see what we're going to do next. That sounds good. Right, so when you're ready, lay back on your back in your set-up position. Find your neutral, hips in line. If you put your hands on your pelvis, so the heels of your hands on your hip bones, fingers on the pubic bone, thumbs under your navel, make sure you're nice and level. So remember the hull of the ship underneath you, keep it nice and still. Inhale, allow one knee to drop out to the side, so you'll feel the outer edge of that foot. Exhale to pull back to center. Breathe in, allow the other knee to fall out. Exhale back to center. And I just want you to feel the smoothness you have in those hip joints. So you can stay there, might be enough for you, especially if you've got any hip problems. You don't want to drop the knee inwards, so just sort of keep it as you are. For a bit more of a variety, if you drop your left knee out to the side, with the outer edge of your left foot in the floor, slide forward. Now roll through the heel so you're on the inner edge of the heel. Keep on the inner edge of the heel as you slide the foot back in. Same leg, drop out to the side as you breathe in. Exhale, slide forward. Rotate inwards on the inner part as you inhale, and then exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Got one more to do. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in on the inner edge, and then exhale. Now we're going to work the right leg. So breathe in, drop that right knee to the side, so you're on the right outer edge. Exhale, slide forward. Inhale into the inner edge. Exhale, slide back in. Breathe in to the outer edge. Exhale, slide the leg forward, just like your foot's in a gully. Inhale to the inner edge. Exhale. Inhale to the outer edge of the foot. Keep on the outer edge as you slide forward. Inhale to the inner edge. And just keep in control of the pelvic movements. Make sure you're still your hull of the ship. You can feel it in the floor. Ribs are nicely in towards you. And then carefully release. Keep the feet hip distance. A lot of people like to bring their legs together, but keep their feet hip distance. And allow both knees to drop out, so you're on the outer edges of both feet. If you want to make it a little bit more of a stretch, if you want to, you don't have to. Put your hands on your inner thighs and then just press down. And that might just give you a little bit more stretch, a little bit more time. And then bring the knees back in. We're going to go into shoulder bridge now as we've got a little bit more strength through the back of the hips. So heels under knees. Relax through the upper body. Now inhale, tilt the pelvis so you fill up the space of the lower back there. Now you can exhale, peel the spine away from the floor, press your heel bones down, slightly traction them in towards you as you edge your knees forward. Hold it, breathe in, feel your bum working as you use your heels and press your pubic bone up. Exhale, lengthen through the spine, one vertebrae at a time until you come back to your neutral position. Breathe in, tilt. Exhale, slowly roll up. If you've got tight and stiff areas, really work on those areas. Pause when you're at those areas rather than bypass. When you're at the top, press your heel bones down, traction the heels in towards you. Maybe lift the arms up and over, or maybe just towards the ceiling or somewhere in between. And then lengthen through the tail So you articulate all the way back down. And then sweep the arms back. Tuck the tailbone under. Exhale, slowly roll up, press the heel bones down, traction forward. Breathe in. Exhale, articulate the spine all the way down, one vertebrae at a time. Bring the arms back. And again, tilt. And then exhale. Breathe in. And then exhale, lengthen, articulate. And bring the arms to the sides. You can carry on there with your articulation, or we can go into flat back shoulder bridges. Exhale, lift up, inhale down. Still using the feet nice and strongly like you were before. The heels talk to the bum. Lift and lower. Exhale, lift, inhale, lower. You can stay here, you can stay at the previous level even, otherwise you can hold it here. Holding it, recognise how your bum's working. Keep edging the pubic bone up towards the ceiling as you work down and traction in with your heels. Knees slightly forward. I think it's time to come down now. Roll down nice and smoothly. One vertebrae at a time. And then hug your knees in towards you. And you can just have a nice roll around. Okay, roll over onto your side and sit yourself up. How are you all feeling? Okay, I hope. Right, so we're going to do another stretch for the glutes because I just think we need to, and then we'll be nearly done. So if you take your left foot on top of your right knee, you can put your hands behind you, then slide in your right foot, bring it in a little bit closer. It's up to you how far you bring it in. And then when you feel ready, if you feel ready, you can walk your hands in just a little bit closer. Press and sandwich your chest towards the side edge of your shin. And allow your sitting bone to drop down. So this is similar to the figure 4 stretch, but we've just got a little bit of a different angle on it. Carefully release. Swap over. So again, this might be enough for you. If you feel like you want more, slide in. Push the mat away behind you as you pull your chest forward. Again, you can use your hands to walk in a little bit closer. And just allow your sitting bones to drop down. And then release it there. Let's go on to all fours. Couple of cat-cows. Find your neutral position and then sway your bum from side to side. Then from here, you can either come up to high kneeling and then you can step your foot through or stay as you are. Come up nice and tall. And then when you're ready, walk that leg forward a little bit more. Breathe in. Press the pubic bone forward, lift the lower belly. Feel that stretch through the front body. Exhale, straighten that front leg. Keep the foot flat for as long as you can. And then lift the foot as if it's against a wall. Hold on to something if you need to, but try not to put weight on the actual kneecap. You can hold on to the shin or the thigh. Keeping the back nice and straight as you hinge forward. So again, we're looking for a stretch in the back of the thigh here. And then carefully bring that back. So you can stay high kneeling or go onto all fours and then step the left foot through. come up. You might need to toe walk that foot forward a little bit. Lifting up. Feel that stretch in that front body. Pressing the pubic bone forward, lifting the lower belly. Press that front foot forward into the ground. Keep the foot flat for as long as you can, so you straighten the leg. Then you can flex as if the foot's against the wall. Come forward, hinge from the hips, make sure your back is straight. And I'm sure you can all feel a stretch in the back of your thigh. If not, sink down a little bit more. Look for it and find it. And then ease back up. Bring that foot in. Now take your time. You've got all the time you want. Tuck your toes under. Have a look at that front foot. Is it strong? Is it collapsing in? Do you need to put it back into alignment? Put it where it should be. Put weight into it and then stand yourself up from here. Then the other side. Make sure the foot is strong, just like we did in the exercises to begin with. Keep it strong and firm. Put weight into it and then come on up. Thank you so much, everybody. Let me know any feedback. I hope it's all just good enough for what we need to continue with all our fantastic effort that we've been making. So when you're ready, breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And release it there. And that's our first session done. Woohoo!